Okay, cool. Good man.
Hey, how are you?
You alright, mate? I just saw he's kicking his head off. It's cool.
Yes.
Straight to business.
Exactly. Well, they both are.
Yeah, they bowed first.
Sebastian, if I could get you to state your name and affiliation to this camera, please.
Sebastian Tabani, MSN Argentina. Okay, so do you plan your stunts based on the capabilities of the actor, or do you plan ahead without knowing?
That's a good question too. I mean, if we know and how it's going to be perceived or how it's going to be shot. I mean, for example, it's a common thing where people put these really elaborate fights together, and then you find out that the director wants to cover it in a master with the lead actor, and it's like, well, you know, maybe they don't have the ability that this expert you brought in has to do it. So you always have to know what the end result is here, and there are times when you have to limit what you're doing to the capabilities of someone, but most of the time you're trying to sort of push the envelope a little bit and show this character is really skilled. So just plan your cuts and coverage well, and know where to, have the actor step out and the stunt performer step in.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of varies each time.
And what did you find in Andrew and Jamie and Paul?
They were all extremely physical. Andrew, we knew, far better from the first few, so we knew he was extremely athletic and had more ability that we could often give him rein to utilize. I mean, just because you can get injured doing things, him flipping, if he misses, he could hit his teeth on the concrete. I mean, there's all these things you have to sort of range between being an overprotective mother and like the crazy uncle who doesn't care, somewhere between there. You say, okay, well, I think you can do this, or maybe they don't think they can do something, and you build up the confidence knowing what they can do from working with you, or vice versa, pull them back and say, no, this isn't a good idea for you to do this, especially if they're wearing a mask. For Andrew, at times, it's like, dude, there's no benefit in you doing this. Let this guy do it. Mm-hmm. It's cold, it's 5 a.m. Yeah. You could pull a muscle, you have to work tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So it always changes, but all of them did a lot of stuff themselves, and all very physical and just great people.
Mm-hmm. The Western school of stunts is based on hydraulics, for example, for flips and somersaults, while the Oriental are based on wires.
Yeah.
So which style do you prefer?
I think, too, a culmination of both. I mean, I've worked with the Hong Kong guys and been on the wires as a stuntman and seen how they worked, and they're extremely tough and brutal in how they go about things. I would like to think that we've taken a lot of what they utilize, and with all due respect, put it into a more repetitive place in terms of cinema, and that we can. I don't want to be carting stunt performers off to a hospital every day, irrelevant of how cool the shot looks. I respect the performers and want to make sure that they can go home to their loved ones. And there's times, every few times in a year as a stuntman, you do things that are very dangerous. You risk your life, but day-to-day things, it shouldn't be that bad. It shouldn't. Coordinator should keep the performers safe. And those Hong Kong guys, that's just amazing, some of the things they do.
Yeah.
We do things here too where we crimp a cable. If you put a cable through someone, you crimp it with steel to secure it. They just tie knots, and their knots are great. I've tested the knots, but why risk it, And again, each to their own, but I don't know. Sometimes I watch stuff they do, like, oh my God.
Yeah, like Jackie Chan.
Yeah, great stuff, but they are always injured, also. So that's the thing, a benefit we don't have. You can't shut down Spider-Man for 6 months while Andrew's ankle heals. In Hong Kong, you can do that. But
do you have any input in terms of framing the camera for some stunts? Because maybe you said, okay, this shot would look good if we shot this way because the stunt.
Yeah, I would say two things. One, that when we test these things, I photograph everything, edit it, and show it to Mark, and he signs off, yeah, this is great, let's do this. From that, they can say, okay, well, this looks great. But two, how about, in seeing your rehearsal, how about if we put a camera here, and you say, oh, that would be great. We didn't have the luxury of doing that. We didn't have a crane for our rehearsal. So, yeah, in testing it, you, see where it does work primarily, what angles to cover it from, either with doubles or with performers. And then, what have we missed here? How could we best complement this even more? And that comes from the cinematographer sitting down with you and the director and looking at it, maybe then coming to see a live rehearsal and looking at it again. And it's great. I love that process, seeing how to capture it.
Okay, last quick question. What was the best stunt you ever seen? Not yours.
On the movie or
the movie.
This movie?
No, not
Any
yours.
movie?
Not yours.
Wow. I don't know. Let me think about that for a second. Put me on the spot right here. I don't know. I can answer that. The best one ever I've seen. You know what? It's. I always say that if you can repeat something, then it's a stunt. You know, if you could do it just once, it's not really a stunt. But my hats off now to people like J.T. Holmes and all these wingsuit flyers. To me, that's incredible. Just if you can jump out of an airplane with a wingsuit on and fly all the way down to the ground, that's what I think is the most impressive thing.
Okay, thank you.
Well, take
Thank
care.
you. You too. Good luck.
Thank you.
Bye bye.